This is second part of properties of fluids. So here we will solve more numerical problems. So let's start. The first question is based on viscosity. So before reading this problem, let's first understand what it is about. The question mentions a journal bearing. So let's first understand that, right? So we have a shaft and a bearing. So in a journal bearing, this is generally the bearing, and a shaft rotates inside it. So this is our shaft which is rotating, and there is a clearance between the shaft and this bearing. So it is filled with a oil having some viscosities, right? So in question, if you will look, you will see that we need to find the intensity of shear, that is we need to find the shear stress, right, in this oil. So oil is having a viscosity of 1 poise given in the question, and the diameter of shaft is given as 10 centimeter, and the clearance is 1.5 mm. So this distance is 1.5 mm, and the shaft is rotating with a speed of 150 rpm, that is revolution per minute, and we need to find the shear stress. So for finding the shear stress, we use Newton's law of viscosity, that is tau is equal to mu du over dy, this formula. And mu is our dynamic viscosity, coefficient of dynamic viscosity, u is our speed, and y is the distance between the layers, and this is our shear stress, right? So let's solve this problem. So first we will write what is given in the question. So we have value of dynamic viscosity as 1 poise. So we will convert it to Newton per meter square, Newton second per meter square. So it will be 1 upon 10, that is 0.1 Newton second per meter square. And it is given dia of shaft as 10 centimeter. So it will be 0.1 meter. And distance between the shaft and the journal bearing, right? So this was the shaft and this was the distance, right? This is the bearing. So this distance is our dy. So we will write it as 1.5 mm, and we will convert it to meters. So it will come out to be 1.5 into 10 raised to power minus 3 meter, right? And speed of shaft is given as 150 rpm, that is revolution per minute. So we need to find tangential speed of the shaft. So for finding the tangential speed, we use a formula, that is u is equal to pi dn by 60. If speed is given in rpm, right? Here speed is in rpm. If your speed is in rps, that is revolution per second, then we will use formula pi dn. It is same, just we have converted this speed into other unit, right? Here we have taken in minute and here we have taken in second. So I'm using this formula as our n is given in rpm. We will put the values in this equation and we will get, we have diameter 0.1 and rpm is 150 revolution per minute, that is our value of speed, rotating speed. So we will get velocity as 0.785 meter per second, right? Now we will use the shear stress formula. So here we have all the values. We have value of dynamic viscosity, we have the distance, and now we need to put this value which we found here, right? So this is difference in speed. So shaft started from rest, right? So initial speed will be 0 and final speed is this speed. So dy will be u minus 0, that will be u, right? So we will put all the values here and we will get 785 and 1.5 into 10 raised to power minus 3. After solving this, you will get the answer, that is 52.33 Newton per meter square. So this is the shear stress which will act there. The second question is based on kinematic viscosity and it is very simple problem. So let's start it directly. So in question we have been given the value of dynamic viscosity, that is 0.05 poise. So we will convert this value to Newton second per meter square. Second quantity given in question is the kinematic viscosity, and we denote it by a sign called nu. It is given as 0.035 Stokes. So we will convert Stokes to meter square per second. So in 1 Stoke we have 1 centimeter square per second. So first I will convert it into meter square per second. So it will be same in centimeter square per second. Now we will convert it to meter square per second. Okay, now we will use the general formula of kinematic viscosity. Kinematic viscosity is ratio of dynamic viscosity to its density, right? So here we will use this formula, and now we will put all the values. This is our value of kinematic viscosity, and this is dynamic viscosity 0.05 divided by 10, and now we need to put this value, that is value of density. So this is the quantity which we need to use to find specific gravity. So density is rho, that is unknown, right? So we will find density from this equation. So density will be 0.05 divided by 10 multiplied by 1 divided by 0.035 multiplied by 10 raised to power minus 4. So we will solve this value to get the value of density. After solving this, we will get value of density as 1428.5 kg per meter cube. Now according to question, we have to find specific gravity of liquid. So specific gravity of liquid is defined as density of liquid to the density of standard liquid, right? So standard liquid here is water. So we take standard liquid as water when we find specific gravity of any liquid. So let's put that value. So now putting the values, 1000 kg per meter cube is the value of density of water. So after solving this, we will get 1.43. So this is our specific gravity of the liquid. The third question is based on bulk modulus. So I will define a little bit about bulk modulus first before solving this question. So bulk modulus denoted by K, it is defined as ratio of increase of pressure to the volumetric strain. So when we say increase of pressure, then we talk about pressure difference, right? So this is our increase of pressure. And when we talk about volumetric strain, then that is the decrease in the volume, or we can say change in the volume divided by the original volume. So we write it as volume change divided by original volume, and we choose a sign negative here because the volume is decreasing as pressure is increasing. Suppose we have a piston here, and this is our fluid which is filled inside it and which is compressible, right? And if we apply pressure here, suppose here air is present or any liquid is present which is compressible, and I am applying a force, I am increasing the pressure, then definitely the volume will decrease. So to make this quantity positive, we generally use a negative sign here. So generally the negative sign denotes that the volume decreases with the increase in pressure. There is one more term known as compressibility, and it is defined as reciprocal of the bulk modulus. So now let's start the problem. For solving problem, I will first write what is given. So we have been given initial pressure which is 70 Newton per centimeter square. Final pressure is given as 130 Newton per centimeter square. So we will find out dP, that is increase in the pressure, so which will be 60 Newton per centimeter square. Now we will find the decrease in volume. So generally in question it is given that the volume of the liquid decreases by 0.15, right? So here decrease in volume is 0.15%. So we will find the volumetric strain, which is given as this. So here it will come out to be positive because since the liquid is decreasing, so if we subtract the final volume with initial volume, we will get a negative quantity, and this negative sign will make it positive. So we will write it as plus 0.15 by 100. So this is our decrease in volume, or this is our volumetric strain. For finding the bulk modulus, we will use the general formula of bulk modulus and we will put all the values in it. So the general formula of bulk modulus is, so this is our change in pressure and this is our volumetric strain. Now we will put the value, which is 16 Newton per centimeter square. This is change in pressure, that is increase in pressure, and this is our volumetric strain. So we will get the value of bulk modulus. So this is the value of bulk modulus. Fourth question is based on surface tension on liquid droplet. So in question first we have been given the dia of the droplet, that is 0.04 mm, and we will convert it to meters, and the pressure outside the droplet, right? Pressure outside the droplet is given as 10.32 Newton per centimeter square. That is the atmospheric pressure which is acting on the droplet, right? So it is given as 10.32 Newton per centimeter square. So it is 10.32 into 10 raised to power 4 Newton per meter square, and surface tension is given as 0.0725 Newton per meter of water that is acting, right? This is our surface tension. Now according to question we need to find the pressure within the droplet, right? We need to find pressure within the droplet. So the pressure inside the droplet will be the sum of pressure outside the droplet and the pressure inside the droplet in excess of outside pressure. So what it means is that there is an expression for finding out pressure inside the droplet in excess of outside pressure. So we write this expression as 4 sigma by d. So this is 4, this is our surface tension, and this is the diameter of the droplet, and this is our pressure. So we will use this expression. So the expression, that is 4 sigma by d, it means that pressure inside the droplet in excess of outside pressure. So we will put the value. This is the value of diameter. So after solving this, we will get 7250 Newton per meter square. So I will be converting it to Newton per centimeter square so that we can add the values, or you can convert that to Newton per meter square and you can add any way in which you want or in which the question asks. But here question is not saying we need to find it in Newton per centimeter square, so we can keep it in any unit, Newton per centimeter square or Newton per meter square, as you wish. So the pressure inside the droplet will be P, that is what we found out, pressure, and the pressure outside the droplet. So we will add both these. So now we will put the value, and we will get 11.045 Newton per centimeter square. So this is our answer. So the fifth question is based on capillarity. So let's start the question. So in this question, we need to solve the capillary rise for water and mercury. But generally, as we know that in water, generally capillary rise occurs, and in mercury, capillary fall occurs. So for both, you should know the expressions before solving this question. The expression for rise of capillary, that is capillary rise in water, is given by. So this is the expression for capillary rise in water. So generally we know that value of angle, that is theta, between water and the clean glass tube is approximately equal to 0. So here cos theta is equal to unity. So the rise in capillary tube is given by this formula, but there is a general formula which we write as 4 sigma. We use cos theta, that is the angle between glass and water, and rho g into d. So this is density, acceleration due to gravity, and this is of course the diameter. So this expression can be used for both capillary rise and capillary fall, because it all depends on the value of cos theta, whether your value will come out to be positive or negative. So let's start this problem. So we have diameter of the glass tube as 2.5 mm. We will convert it to meters, and surface tension of water is given as 0.0725, this one, Newton per meter, right? And for mercury, this is of water, surface tension of water, and for mercury it is given as 0.52 Newton per meter. And specific gravity of mercury is given as 13.6. So therefore density of mercury will be 13.6 multiplied by 1000 kg per meter cube. As we know that specific gravity is defined as ratio of density of fluid by density of standard fluid. So standard fluid is water. So by taking the expression to the right side, we will get density as specific gravity multiplied by density of water. So the first part of question states to find capillary rise of water, right? So we know that theta will be 0 degree because the angle between water and the clean glass will be approximately 0 degree. So cos theta will be 1. So we will write expression as 4 sigma by rho multiplied by g and multiplied by d. So we have value of all the quantities, and we can find the value of h by putting the value in this expression. So we get the value of capillary rise as 0.0118 meter, that will be 1.18 centimeter. So this is our answer. The second part of the question states us to find the capillary effect for mercury, and we know that we have been given the value of angle, right? So a value of angle, that is angle of contact between mercury and glass, that is theta, is given as 130 degree. So we will use the general equation, that is 4 sigma cos theta by rho multiplied by g multiplied by d. So in the first part cos theta became 0, so cos theta became 1, right? That's why we used 4 sigma divided by density multiplied by acceleration due to gravity multiplied by diameter as our expression. So here we will put all the value in this expression and we will get 4 multiplied by 0.52 multiplied by cos 130 degrees, that is the angle, divide by density of mercury that we found 13.6 into 1000, and we will multiply it by 9.81, that is acceleration due to gravity, and 2.5 into 10 raised to power minus 3, that is our diameter. So we will get minus 0.004 meter, that is equal to minus 0.4 centimeter. So this is our answer, and negative sign indicates that the capillary is going down, that is there is capillary depression. So thank you, I will meet you in my next video.